All right, guys, we are recording and I'm going to share my screen with you. Here we go. Welcome to our team call. My husband's yelling at me to not be so loud because Nora's sleeping. So just an FYI, hopefully you guys can hear me. Do we have any other headphones? Okay. Apparently we don't have headphones. All right, so can everybody hear me? Can you just type in the chat if you guys can hear me okay? All right, so welcome to our team call. It's December 13th. It's the middle of December. Thank you guys, those of you that are on this call. I know it is a typically crazy time of year for all of us. And so I appreciate that you are, dedicated enough to learning and to growing your business that you want to be on this call. And that's really important. And I'm really glad that you guys are here. Or if you're watching the recording, that's awesome too. So just a little bit of recognition for, hold on one second. Just a little bit of recognition. We have our top 10 from this week, or from last week, I guess. And these are the people on our team who are they have the highest volume. So if you're not familiar with what personal volume is, it means that they're bringing on new customers, that they are retaining customers, and just slowly but surely building their personal volume for this last week. And so congrats to all you ladies on this board. You guys are doing awesome. You're helping people and you're changing lives. And that's the bottom line of what we get recognized for in our business. Then this is our current Success Club board. So some of you ladies are killing it already in December and really, really making a difference. So congrats to all you ladies. Elizabeth, Melissa, and Crystal are already in the 3 Lives Club. So they've already hit 5 points or above, which is awesome. And then we have a bunch of people that are on deck. So congrats. That is an awesome start to our month. And then we have some new coaches. So welcome to the team, you guys. If you're on the call, welcome, welcome. We're so happy that y'all are here. So welcome to Amaya and Megan and Sarah. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about before we get started with the meat of our call, the topic of our call, is the Beachbody Health Bet. And this is really, really important for you guys to know what it is, for you to get involved, for you to get your customers involved, for you to get new people involved, because this is huge. This is our second Beachbody Health Bet. Our last one was in September, and it was a huge success. And basically, if you don't know what it is, if you're a brand new coach and you're just learning, and maybe you weren't with us in September, basically what it is Beachbody is hosting this huge, basically they're giving us a cash pot to give out to our challengers, to coaches, anybody that participates in a challenge group in the month of January. It starts January 9th, and it goes for 4 weeks. So it goes through, I think, like February 5th or something like that. And basically what it is Beachbody has a pot of $2 million right now, up to $3 million. And how you get a stake of that pot of my husband's laughing at me. How you get part of that cash pot is you have to join a challenge group. You log in a minimum of 3 workouts every single week, and a minimum of 5 Shakeologies every single week. Post your picture in the challenge tracker app. It does have to be, your challenge group cannot be run through Facebook. It has to be run through the challenge tracker app, because that's how everything is recorded, and Beachbody knows what's going on, right? And you do that and you get a cut of this cash pot, which is really awesome. And it's a huge incentive for a lot of people to be able to just stick to their goals during the month of January, stick to 3 workouts at a minimum, which is honestly nothing. I feel like we should raise the bar for people, but even for somebody that's just starting out, that's never worked out a day in their life, they can do 3 workouts a week. It technically doesn't even have to be a Beachbody workout that they do, but they do have to be drinking Shakeology every single week. Obviously, we want to encourage them to do a Beachbody workout because that makes the most sense, and we know that's going to get them results. But, if you had somebody who just wasn't ready for that and they just wanted to drink their shake and maybe go for a run or a walk or, something really low impact, then they could even do it too. And so I really just want to encourage you guys. Number one, you have to get involved in the health bet. So if you are not committed to joining a health bet challenge group, or if you are not committed to running your own challenge group in January for the health bet, you need to be. It's really, really important because it is going to change people's lives. Bottom line, it's going to help you. It's going to help your customers. It's going to help a lot of people. In September, we had 75% of the challengers that participated in the health bet said that they reached their monthly goal. 75%. And that's a statistic that you guys can use and you can share with your customers and your prospects and let them know this works, because number one, are they not only getting extreme accountability, because if they do what they're supposed to do, they're going to see the results. If they work out a few times a week, if they're drinking their Shakeology every day, they're going to see results in 30 days. And because they have the support, because they have the accountability, because they have the incentive, the cash incentive, it makes it even that much better for them to really go all in and not slack for an entire 30 days, right? So I just want to encourage you guys, get involved yourself, share this with everybody, because everybody deserves this opportunity. I really believe that. And it would just be a shame if you held this in and you didn't tell people, because it really could help them. And I've had so many people that did the health bet last time that said they had amazing results, and it was the hardest they ever worked on their health and fitness goals, and they're really excited to start again in January. And it's obviously the perfect time to start because, New Year starts, New Year hits, everybody wants to start, those New Year's resolutions, working on their goals. So it's pretty much perfect as far as, a business perspective goes as well, because of the timing of things. So my advice to you guys is start promoting now. If you haven't yet, start sharing it with your customers, send everybody an email, contact people, invite them to join your Beachbody Health Bet, create an event page on Facebook, invite all your friends to join, share with them what the health bet is, share with them transformations, just show them how this is going to work for them. Share it on your timeline on Facebook or whichever social media platforms you're using. Get people involved and invite. Now is the time. Do not wait until after the holidays because it's too late. Because we start the 9th and everybody really needs to have their orders in by the end of December in order to get their Shakeology in on time and get their program in on time so that they can actually start with us on time and start logging in their stuff. So start now, don't wait, and get going. If you guys have any questions about the health bet, just let me know. Type it into our chat and I'd be happy to answer, or somebody else on the call could answer if they've been through it. I'm going to go ahead and start our topic for today, which is conversations. And this was the topic that was most requested on our team page. And so I wanted to make sure that we talked about this, because honestly, having meaningful conversations with people is probably the most important thing you can do for your business. There's all these other things that we do in our business that we think are super important. Social, and they all tie together, right? Like social media, your follow-ups, invites, all of that type of stuff is important. But if you're not building meaningful connections with people and you're not building relationships with people, then they're probably not going to want to work with you anyways, because people work with people that they know, like, and trust. And if you can build meaningful conversations with people, that's exactly what these conversations are going to do. They're going to get to know you. They're going to get to know that you care about them, that you want to know more about them, that you want to help them. They're going to get to know your heart, and they're going to start to trust you and realize that you're a real person just like they are, and you actually want to help them. So let's talk about, and I put this quote on this slide because I just think it's so true. It's amazing how one little conversation can change things forever. And I'm going to talk about this a little more, but this is why you don't ever prejudge anybody that you're going to have a conversation with. Don't pick out people that you think need to lose weight or might want to lose weight or might want to join a fitness group. Talk to everybody and anybody. It does not have to be fitness related. It does not have to be Beachbody related at all. That's actually not what this training is going to be about necessarily. But one little conversation, sending one message, showing somebody that you care about them can change their life. Just knowing that somebody out there actually cares about what's going on in their life can mean something huge to somebody else. And so I just want you guys to not forget that and make sure that you are just being genuine in your conversations and starting conversations that are, with intent to feed positivity into somebody else's life. So let's talk about, I don't know if you guys were on if you listened to the National Wake Up Call. I listened to the recording yesterday because I wasn't able to be on live. But Jimmy Nelson spoke on the National Wake Up Call, and he talked about how, just making action steps toward finishing out this year strong, because there's still 2 weeks left in this year. And so he said, if you message, 10 people every single day, do you realize how many lives you could touch? Do you realize how many people you're going to be able to connect with? Just 10 conversations a day. Shoot somebody a message when you're in the bathroom or when you're on your lunch break. Like, you can easily talk to 10 people a day. It's really not that much if you really just utilize your time wisely and, just shoot out those messages when you have free minutes here and there. And so if you talk to 10 people a day on the low end, say you maybe only talk to 5 people a day, you could have like 35 conversations, or maybe you could have up to 70 or 100 conversations, right? Depending on how many days in this month you're willing to commit to doing that. But these conversations do not have to lead with the opportunity. You do not have to talk about Beachbody. You do not have to talk about Challenge Group. You do not have to talk about anything related to your business. You just have to be a human. You just have to connect with somebody and just find a way to make some sort of impact on their life, whether it's just a simple, hey, how are you? How is your family? How have you been? That could help somebody get to know you better. That could help cultivate a relationship with somebody. And that's really, you guys, that's really what our business is about, is simply cultivating relationships with people. So I like to say, really, no one should ever get marked off of your list unless they straight up just tell you to leave them alone, or they end up making a purchase and becoming one of your customers or coaches. You should always keep checking in with people. You should always continue building relationships with people. Just because they say not right now, or just because they're not interested in a challenge group, or you think they're not interested in a challenge group. Like I said, don't prejudge people. Don't pick out people based on how they look. Don't pick out people to have conversations on based on, what you think their goals are. Just have conversations with everyone, because you never know where somebody's going to be a year from now in their life, or 6 months from now, or even 2 years from now. And just you being that friend to them and encouraging them, which we're going to talk more about, and having a conversation with them when they are ready for, to take on some health and fitness goals, you're going to be the person that they talk to about it, because they know you and they like you and they trust you. And that's what this is all about. So this is just some actions. This is just action steps for you guys to start taking action now. Start messaging people, start having conversations and building relationships. It can seem scary at first. Trust me, not everybody is born with the ability, or I don't know, some sort of talent to have great conversations with people. And some people it comes easy to, and others it doesn't. I know for me, as a brand new coach, before I became a coach, I didn't talk to barely anybody on Facebook. It was not comfortable for me to send messages to people, even to people that I knew. I didn't want to send messages to, because it's scary and it's uncomfortable. And if you're an introvert, you don't talk to people like that often. But the greatest advice I ever got is that if you are out of your comfort zone, then you are doing something right and you're headed in the right direction and you're growing. And so be willing to get out of your comfort zone, be willing to talk to new people, and you're going to grow, bottom line. So, all right. The easier, or the more you do it, the easier it'll get to you guys. It's something that can be learned, and a lot of us are not going to be good at it at first, and that's okay. It's okay to be bad at starting conversations. It's okay to be bad at keeping the conversation going, or whatever it is you're struggling with in your conversations. It's okay to be bad at it. We're all bad at it in the beginning, but the more you do it and the more you practice it over and over and over and over and over again, it's a learned behavior. It's a skill that can be learned. So don't feel like if this is an area that you struggle in, that you're going to be bad at it forever. You're not. And I am living proof. I was terrible at having conversations with people in the beginning of my coaching business. And now I can do it in my sleep, right? And it's actually the part of my business that I love the most, because I've realized how valuable it is to build these relationships with people. And whether they buy anything from me or not ever, just having genuine relationships and conversations with people that are real and meaningful, it can add so much value, not only to them, but to you and your life. So just keep that in mind. All right. So here's some ways that you can have conversations with people, right? So one way is just simply to encourage other people. You guys, that's what we do. That's what we do as coaches. Is our job to encourage people. It does not have to just be our challengers. It can be anybody. So sending someone a simple message based on maybe something that they posted that day, kind of keeping an eye on people on social media is a good thing, because it lets them know that you're watching them, you care about what's going on in their life. Be authentic when you send them these messages. Don't think about selling them something. Even if maybe they post something related to health and fitness, you don't necessarily need to. I know I see people post statuses about, I'm struggling with weight loss or whatever. Don't message them and say, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? Don't think about the sale. Think about the person. Like, what kind of conversation would you want to have with somebody if you were struggling to lose weight, or you were struggling, even if you were just struggling with your kids or your marriage or finances or whatever, some sort of hard topic, because it seems like a lot of people want to post all that negative stuff on Facebook, which is okay. And it's okay for you to be the one to encourage them. So just think about connecting with somebody. So this is just an example that I posted here below. And I always see people posting about their kids being sick or, being overwhelmed, especially if you're a mom and you have a lot of moms that are on your friends list. So you could say, hey, I just saw that your kiddos are super sick this week. Just wanted to let you know I'm thinking of you guys. It seems to be going around. Are you doing okay, mama? Like, just checking on people, encouraging them. Let them know you're thinking about them or you're praying for them. That is a simple way to just connect with somebody. So like I said, does not have to be about Beachbody, does not need to be about a sale. It just needs to be about you being a human and connecting with somebody. All right, thinking of someone. So for example, if you see an article on Facebook or something like Pinterest or BuzzFeed.com, and it reminds you of somebody, send it to them. That is like, people do that to me every once in a while, and I'm like, wow, that's really cool that you thought of me, right? Because you don't expect someone to just be thinking of you when maybe they don't necessarily need to be, right? And so that's just really genuine. If you see if one of your friends on Facebook really loves coffee, and you see this really great, I don't know, coffee meme on Pinterest, send it to them. Oh my gosh, this made me think of you. Just wanted to send it over. I thought you would think it was really funny, or something like that. Tell people the impact that they made on you, or something positive that you think of them. So you're simply just showing gratitude. So this could be an old coworker. These are more these topics right here that I'm touching on specifically are going to be more geared toward like your warm market and people that you've kind of already had in your life a little bit. So on this topic, I'm thinking more along the lines of, somebody that, maybe was an old classmate or a coworker, or I don't know, somebody that you just had in your life that you appreciate. And maybe you haven't had a conversation with them in a while. Show them gratitude. Let them know that they made an impact on your life. Let them know the things that you admire about them or that you like about them. I see people all the time, which is super nice, that are sharing like a positive quote or uplifting message. And I'll send them a message and say, I just want to let you know that the posts you're sharing are really positive and uplifting. It's really nice to see that with all the negativity on here today. Thank you so much. It really has helped me. There's nothing, I guess, better than giving someone a compliment and letting them know that you were thinking of them, and that what they're doing is actually making a difference. I know when I get messages like that from people, I'm so excited. I think that's like the coolest thing ever. So why not pay that forward to somebody else if they are doing something positive on social media? Another thing, I just want to let you know that I think you're an amazing mom. Like, I have a lot of moms that I follow, or that are friends with me, or that follow me, or I follow them, or whatever. And, as moms, it's so easy to fall into traps where you get overwhelmed or exhausted. And so just letting someone know, like, you're doing a great job, and I've been watching your posts, and even though you're having a bad day, just wanted to let you know I'm thinking of you, and you're amazing. You're an amazing mom. Another thing you can do is give people tips on things based on their status updates. So again, keeping an eye on people, like I mentioned in the first point, but giving them PD suggestions, mom life suggestions if they're struggling with something. You know how people like post questions and post challenges that they're going through. You don't always have to necessarily comment on their post. You could send them a message and say, hey, I just saw your post. I see that you're really struggling, spiritually with, I don't know, something going on in your life. I read this book a few months ago, and it really helped me in that area. Just wanted to send it over. I don't know if it'll help you, but it really helped me. Just give someone a suggestion based on what they're going through in their life. Okay, compliments. People love compliments. Isn't it nice when somebody gives you a compliment? Like, it's really nice, and especially on Facebook when it's kind of out of the blue. It's flattering, and people love that. People love that you are thinking something positive about them. So if you think something positive about someone, tell them. Don't just keep it in. If you love somebody's clothes, or you love somebody's shoes, or their makeup, or their hair, or their kids, or their family, or their photos, or whatever. This is just an example. I love your new family photos that you just updated. They're stunning. You all look so happy and beautiful. Who is your photographer? So that's just a great way to connect and show people that you care. Okay. Ask questions and get to know people. So a simple, how have you been? I was just thinking about you. I wanted to see how you're doing. It's been a while. How's your family? Get to know people. Ask them questions about themselves. Um, Asking questions is the best way to lead a conversation. It's the best way to get to know somebody. It's the best way to show other people that you're interested in what they have to say. And we have to be more interested in them than they are in us, because that's how they're going to learn to get to know you as well, and where your heart is. And so if you get to know their story, they're probably going to want to get to know more about your story as well. So send people messages like this, check in on them, follow up with them, ask them how they've been doing. Maybe you've been out of touch for a few months. Get back in touch and see how they're doing. Okay, so switching gears a little bit, let's talk about just some brand new combos. Like, how do you start brand new combos? We'll talk a little bit about, you kind of have to analyze, like, where are these people that you want to talk to coming from? Are they cold market people? So that means you have built no relationship with them. So they might be somebody from a group that you met on Facebook. They could be somebody from your like page, or maybe it's somebody on Instagram, somebody that you don't already have in your life. Are they a warm market person? So they're already somebody in your life that you know, or I like to call it an old market person, somebody that's maybe on your friends list, but you haven't talked to them in years, but at one point they were in your life. So we're going to talk about different ways to start those conversations. And I'm just going to give you guys some examples that you can go off of. So here's my first example. This is for a cold market ad. Somebody that you don't know already, somebody that added you to their friends list. You can just say, hey, I just want to say thanks so much for the ad. Were you looking to connect and network, or were you wanting to join one of my fitness accountability groups? So right there, right off the bat, you're not necessarily inviting them to a challenge group, but you're already letting them know what it is that you do. You have a fitness accountability group, but you're just being genuine, asking them if they want to connect, or you never know, they might have found you from your fitness page and they are interested in joining one of your groups, or maybe they didn't and they still might be interested in joining your groups. So it really just depends. So why not just throw it out there, right? This next bullet point, I have a Google document for you guys. So I'm going to post this in the team page. And that document has a bunch more scripts on there that I use for just starting brand new conversations. So I am going to make sure you guys get that and you can look at that as well. But it's basically some of these same scripts, but some different ones as well. So you guys can kind of take a look and get different ideas. All right, so the next one is cold market person that you added. So maybe you are in a group on Facebook and you added them to your friends list, or maybe they were on your, what is it called, where Facebook tells you that you should be friends with these people and maybe you added them. I don't know, I forget what it's called. But anyway, so you could just say, hey, Jenny, I hope you don't mind me adding you from the Phoenix Moms group. I have really enjoyed connecting with some other moms in our area. I see you have 2 kiddos. How old are they? So just connecting, you're kind of bridging a gap there. You're helping them to realize why you added them, what are your common interests, and ask a question to get the conversation started. The next one is the old market. So maybe an old friend that you lost contact with. I do this all the time. Like, I have friends on my list from like middle school and high school that I haven't talked to since then, but we're just friends on Facebook. And those are people that why would you not want to reach out to them too? I've had amazing friendships built because I've just reached out to old people that I hadn't connected with in a really long time. I've had coaches join our team from starting these conversations, and just built really awesome relationships. So anyways, that I wouldn't have otherwise if I hadn't been a coach. And that's a really awesome part of this, is getting out of your comfort zone and building these friendships that you probably never would have in your life if you weren't a coach and weren't forced to get out of that comfort zone. So it is a really cool thing. So you could say, hey, Sarah, this is super random blast from the past, but you just popped up on my news feed and I saw that you got married. I just wanted to say congrats. You look amazing and super happy. I hope you're doing well. Do you still live in Franklin? So again, just complimenting, asking a question. Always ask a question so that you get that conversation started. And then my last point is, if you're doing your job on social media, most of the time, people on your friends list will already know what you do or have already been following your journey. And this actually happened to me a few weeks ago. I reached out to somebody, I think it was a girl that I went to high school with, high school or middle school, I can't remember. But we hadn't talked in 10 years at least, maybe longer. And I just sent her a message kind of like this one. And she said, oh, I've been following your fitness posts. You're doing awesome. And then the conversation just started from there. And that happens all the time, because if you're doing your job, if you're sharing your journey on social media, people that are already on your friends list, that have been on your friends list for a while now, have probably more than likely seen some of your posts. So make sure that's why social media and your posts are important, because people that you don't know that are following you are following you. And once you start that conversation with them, and this girl that I'm telling you guys about just joined my challenge group. And if I hadn't have reached out to her, she wouldn't have, right? Okay, so let's talk about FORM. FORM is basically, it's an acronym, but it's a way to help you be able to start conversations with people and continue conversations with people. And it kind of helps you move into more of like the invite or the business side of things. So this is a really great thing to remember. If you're not familiar with FORM, it stands for family, occupation, recreation, and then message. So when you're starting a conversation with somebody, the first thing that you want to do, and you don't necessarily have to do them in this order, but I would say I usually do them in a somewhat of this order, because it just kind of flows that way usually, but don't overthink it. Ask people how their family is. Where do they live? Do they have kids? How old are they? Do they have boys or girls? How long have they been married? I remember when I first started doing this and I started asking people more, in a sense, like personal questions about their life, right? It always feels a little bit uncomfortable, because you're like, oh, I don't know this person. Should I really be asking them, how old their kids are, or, stuff about their family or their job? And you have to think about it in like, what would you do? If somebody asks you those questions, what would you think? And for me, I think if somebody asks me that, I'm going to want to tell them, right? Unless it's, some creeper. But as long as you're a normal person on Facebook, and you're presenting yourself on social media in a good way, then people are going to want to answer those questions. People like to talk about themselves. Everybody likes to talk about themselves, let's be honest. And so if you are the one asking the questions, you're the one controlling the conversation, you're the one that's building trust with them and building a relationship with them, they're going to answer your questions more than likely. So, and this is really honestly the best way to get to know people. It really is. And even though it might be out of your comfort zone, if you're an introvert like I am, it really does help you build trust and relationships with people. So the second thing that you can do is ask them about their occupation. So what kind of work do you do? How do you like that? Have you been doing it a long time? Is it rewarding? And as you are asking these as you're having these conversations and you're asking these questions, you're going to be really kind of digging deep with people and getting to know them. And they're going to feel flattered that you want to get to know them. Has anybody ever had like a conversation where somebody just sits there and talks about themselves all the time? That is like the biggest like turn off. I don't care for you, don't really want to talk to you. You want people to ask you questions about you. And so if you can do that, if you can show them that you're interested, they're going to like you more than if you just sit there and talk about your own problems. People don't want to talk about you, they want to talk about them. That's just human nature. Okay, then the last thing is recreation. So, where do you live? Do you like it there? Is there a lot to do for fun? What kinds of things do you do with your kids? What do you do on the weekends? Just getting to know, you can even throw in there, do you like to do physical activity, or do you like working out, or outdoor activities, or whatever? So just get to know people, you guys. Just get to know them and ask the questions. The more questions you can ask, the better. All right, so then the last thing is the message. So the message is where you've gotten to know them, you've gotten to know their family, their job, their needs, what they like to do. A lot of the time, like I said, if you're doing your job on social media, health and fitness is probably going to be brought up anyway. And if it's not, that's okay. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be. But I would say at least 50% of the time, it's probably going to get brought up by them, because they'll see your posts and they'll see that you're sharing about your journey. So, and this happens to me all the time, where people will say, I've seen some of your posts. I've actually been doing the 21-day fix. And you're like, oh, well, why didn't you tell me? I could have been your coach, right? And so that might happen to you guys, and that's okay. Some people don't get it, or maybe they don't realize that they can have a coach, or they need a coach, or whatever. So anyways, this is just an example of something like that, where I had a conversation with somebody and they said, oh, I've seen your post, I've been doing the 21-day fix and I love it. And so you could say something like, wow, that's so awesome that you've been doing this 21-day fix and seeing amazing results. I really love that program. Your story makes me think of my friend Ashley, who also just lost however many pounds with 21-day fix. She's a coach now and doing amazing. Have you ever thought about coaching yourself? So that's your message. That's your way of talking about the opportunity. And if they've already been using the programs, that's a great opportunity for you to introduce them to coaching. Now, you're not saying, do you want to join my team? You're just saying, have you ever thought about it? Because if they're seeing results, maybe they have thought about it, because they've probably seen the commercials on their videos, and they're probably getting inspired, right? Because they've probably seen some of your posts. So that's the point when you kind of throw the question out there and just plant a seed in their head. All right. Another thing that I like to do, so especially if health and fitness doesn't necessarily get brought up in the conversation that I'm having with someone. Every month I create an event page on Facebook for my challenge group. And so I'll invite all the new people that have expressed interest, and I'll also invite all the new people that I've just had conversations with recently. I'll invite them to my event page for my challenge group. And then I'll usually send them a personal message. And this is just an example of something I would send to somebody that I invited to the challenge group. So I said, hey girl, I hope this is okay. I just wanted to let you know I invited you to my upcoming fitness support group called Fit and Faith. I'm going to be working with a small group of women for 30 days on getting healthy spiritually and physically. If that sounds like something that would benefit you, I would love for you to join us. You can get all the details on the event page. Make sure to check it out and RSVP if you want to join, and we'll chat more. I hope you're doing well. So that's just an example of that. And if I feel that if you've had a genuine conversation with somebody, they are going to be very open to you inviting them to join your opportunity. Because if you found some sort of need for them in health and fitness, or even if you haven't, even if you just think, well, it'd be cool if they actually join my challenge group, right? Invite them. Don't, like I said, don't prejudge somebody just because they didn't flat out say, I need to lose 10 pounds, doesn't mean that they don't want to work on their health and fitness goals, right? So just plant that seed, send them a message. This is another example on the bottom here of a message or an invite to someone that I've had a conversation with. So, hey girl, this is super random, but I've just been thinking about you this week because I'm starting a new health and fitness support group. I know you mentioned you had some goals you wanted to achieve, so I wanted to make sure I gave you a heads up about it. These groups have really helped me get awesome results, and I love the group of women we have supporting each other on this. Would you be interested in something like that? So that one's more of if I had a conversation with someone, if health and fitness got brought up in some sort of way. I'm not necessarily in that moment when they say, yeah, I've seen some of your posts, I need to lose like 10 pounds. I'm not necessarily going to say right away, like, oh, you should join my challenge group, right? Because I want them to know that I really care about them, and I don't want them to think that I'm just, in a sense, like preying on them because they told me they need to lose weight, and so now they need to join my challenge group, right? But I do want them to know that I'm thinking about them when I have a new group starting. I want them to know, hey, I remember what you said. I remember that you had something that you wanted to achieve that you need to work on, and so I just wanted to send you an invite, see if you were interested. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be interested. Just an FYI. Okay, so then the last thing is just to follow up with people. Don't give up on people. Continue to connect. They never come off your list, like I said before, unless they literally say, leave me alone, or they sign up with you. Because people are going to change over the course of months, over the course of years. You never know where they're going to be on their journey or when they're going to be ready. So, and this doesn't even necessarily, I don't even necessarily mean here like following up as in a sense of, hey, are you ready? We talked about a challenge group. Are you ready to join this month? I'm just saying connect. Hey, how have you been? It's been, a month or two since we've chatted. And, how's your family going? I remember you told me X, Y, and Z was going on. Has it gotten any better? Or, just connecting with people. Send them a simple message and let them know that you're thinking about them and that you care about them. Because if you lose touch with them and you forget about them, they're probably going to forget about you. So keep that connection going and keep people on your list forever. Like, comment, and message. So another way of connecting with people is just, on social media, liking, seeing what they're up to, liking their posts, commenting on their posts, and then sending them a message to reconnect or see how they're doing. And like I said before, be more interested in them than they are in you. And that's how you really build genuine relationships. That's how you build meaningful conversations, have meaningful messages with people, is by actually wanting to get to know what's going on in their life. Okay, so that is what I've got for you guys. Let's see, does anybody have questions? I'll give you guys a minute if you have a question or anything like that. Or you feel free to unmute yourself too. All right, guys. Well, I answered yours. Okay, perfect. Just, you guys, it's really, like I said, it's something that can be learned. So if you feel like this is an area that you struggle in, you just have to do it more and more and more and more until you get good at it. And it's going to take time, and it's going to take effort of sending out those messages. So again, my advice to you is start sending out 10 messages a day. Send out those 10 hey girls. See how people are doing. Reconnect with people on your friends list. honestly, one thing I've done just so that I can build more relationships and connect with more people is go through my friends list literally from like A to Z and just see like who can I talk to. Never has to be anything related to my business, but it's just a great way to get that practice in and start talking to people and start having those conversations that could eventually lead somewhere. You don't ever go in with the intention that it's going to lead somewhere, but you just go on with the intention that you want to get to know somebody, and eventually it might lead somewhere. So that's really what our business is about. It's about building more relationships, connecting with more people, earning people's trust, and really showing them what you have to offer them. And that's what gets them to convert into a customer eventually through those conversations that you're having. So I hope this was helpful for you guys. I will post the recording in our team page, and I think that's about it since we don't have any questions. All right, you guys, have a great night, and I will see you. This is really our last call for the year. We'll probably do like a power hour or something towards the end of the month, but as far as training goes, this is going to be it. So thank you guys for hopping on. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have an amazing holiday if I don't see you before then. And happy holidays and Merry Christmas. I love you guys. Talk to you later.